Дурут салам. Здравствуйте. Как вы поживаете? Мне очень хорошо. Ну хорошо. Есть. Fight. Was going way too long in Russian there. All right. We have a fight. Okay. Jan Blachovicz versus Dominic Reyes. All right. And what do I have to say about it? First thing I have to say is don't bet money on this fight. Do not do it. You have two counter strikers, counter punchers that have way too much lights out power. Dominic Reyes' left is lethal, and Jan Blachovicz, his everything is lethal. But when you get to this level of knockout power and counter striking ability, I mean, Blachovicz is great on the ground, but it might not even get there. So don't bet on this fight. What do I have to say? Who's got the upper hand as far as the better martial artist and the better chance of winning? It's Blachovicz, okay? So, у Катерины есть пизда больше, как наша Польша. I just had to say that. Pushkin, стихотворение. I just had to say that funny Pushkin poem joke thing. All right. So, when you have two lights out counter punchers, the likelihood of this thing going the distance is not great at all. Okay, so it comes down to, can Blachovicz take it to the mat? Can he do that? Because Reyes has exceptional takedown defense. I mean, John Bones Jones had to wear on him for a while before John Bones Jones started taking it down, and it wore him out, and he got the decision, right? So, do I think that Blachovicz is on John Bones Jones level? Probably not, as far as takedowns go. But then you get caught back up in the clinch and counter-strike game, and it's a wash. It's a wash. It's whoever gets their shot off first. And it's just not an easy thing to predict. So, I mean, you'll know early in the fight, but again, don't put money on it. Don't do that, you know. And you can't just say, well, Reyes' left is dominant. You know, his right is not as good as left. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because his takedown defense is exceptional, if not great. And the only reason why, but even if you have a great takedown defense, you're up in a weight where all a guy's got to be is pretty good at taking people down. Mass moves mass. You know, you don't need Khabib's technique when you start going up in weight. You just need to be able to pull or push more than your opponent weighs, times whatever leverage scheme they've got going, whether that's a judo leg, whether that's whatever. Okay, so if Jan can take it to the ground, he's got a lot better shot. What do I see happening? That's exactly what I see happening. They come in, they punch a couple of times, they try to tie each other up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then one of the guys puts the other guy to sleep. If it can stay on the ground, if Blachovicz can keep this on the ground, you know, for a while, 1 minute, 2 minutes, if you can keep him on the ground, maybe a whole round, he's got a great shot of wearing him out and then going for a submission. But Dominic Reyes is a very, 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 very strong guy, very, very athletic man. So I see this thing ending on the feet somewhere. If I had a gun to my head, but I don't see it ending on the feet enough to make a prediction that it's going to end on the feet. Okay, I'm just saying that you have a guy who's really good at taking the other guy down and grappling, but you also have a guy who's very athletic and is a great counter puncher. So when in the exchange and the fluidity of trying to take him down, you know, does he get one? Does he get one? And then if you can pressure, if you're Blachowicz, you can pressure Reyes enough and get him thinking about the takedowns enough, do you get one of your own in the counter game? It's too hard to predict. Two counter punchers fighting each other, we might as well flip quarters. I mean, it's way too hard to tie it down. So you got to go to, well, what do they do at the beginning of most of their fights? And it's counterpunching. So we're back to flipping coins. And then to circle right back around, let me repeat this one more time. If Blachowicz can make this game of down, up, down, up, down, up, that's his key to success, and hide from Reyes' left hand. And that's another thing that leads toward Blachowicz, is that Reyes puts people to sleep with his left. If it exists on tape where he's able to knock someone out with his right, it's a very good punch. So, I mean, I would just assume that knockout power in his right hand exists. I would, if I was going to fight him, or if I was coaching anybody that was going to fight him, just assume it's there too. You know, you gotta stay away from the left, but that doesn't mean you go into the right. Don't do it. But Blachowicz got him in both hands. He's got pop in both hands, and we under 100% know this. So, or at least from what I've seen, I would say yes, Blachowicz he's got sweet pop in both of them. And so that kind of would turn the tables a little bit towards Blachowicz, because if he can do a good job of staying away from the left and not walk into the right and attempt takedowns, or at least fake takedowns, or get Reyes tired and thinking about takedowns to where the counterpunch game is favoring him, because it doesn't matter which way he's lined up. He's got pop in both hands. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to set his feet a certain way to get knockout pop. But then for the third time, it's counterpunchers. So who cares? Who cares? It's counterpunchers. Somebody is going to catch somebody else in a counter game. So all the elements kind of just lead you to believe that, all right, man, even if one guy is dominating for 2 solid rounds, the other guy can kick the other guy in the head just on a counter move and end the fight, or a counter punch, or whatever. I mean, the strikes are lethal in this. It'd be so fun to watch. It'd be so fun to watch. But as far as doing a detailed analysis, here's what I can tell you. Blachowicz is a better martial artist because he knows more things and he does more things at a better level. But as far as who's the better fighter, Dominic Reyes just took John Bones Jones for a ride. And I've got a lot of respect for John Bones Jones. So the transitive property of this kind of fight algebra would definitely go in and say that, yeah, he might not be as good of a grappler as Blachowicz, but that doesn't mean that he is not a fighter of a caliber that can knock Blachowicz spark out. And Dominic Reyes does have a skill set that he can knock Blachowicz out. So, one more time, just to summarize the things that I keep repeating. Don't put money on it. It's punch, counter punch, kick, counter kick. It's going to be very interesting. We'll learn more about the other guy. We don't know enough about any one of these guys to say 100%. If you got a psychic feeling, if God is talking to you, then that's how you're going to find out. But studying the tape, it all just boils down to counterpunching. And yeah, Blachovicz, if he gets him on the ground, he can wear him out and go for a submission. Yes, this exists. But it doesn't exist far more than one smooth left hand or one kick from either leg from Reyes in a transition or in a counter that can end this fight. So, enjoy the fight. Don't bet no money.